Good morning. Okay, this is round 3, and Gabby's having a meltdown. For some reason, my page is not wanting to go live with videos, and I have no idea why or what's going on. It's a pretty big meltdown going on in there. Okay, it is working. Thank you. Finally. All right. So I went live in my private group, and I know that this is a message that many more need to hear, so I'm going to share it with you as well. So let's actually talk about mindsets. Many of my ladies have been struggling with being all in or completely off the wagon and like burning it to make s'mores. So how many times have you said like, well, I'll never be able to achieve this dream because genetics are working against me? I know that this is something that I've said many times, and it's so easy to fall into that trap. And the good news is it's false. Like genetics only account for like 5 to 10%, if that. Like even 10% is super high. And the foods that enter our bodies, medications, pollution, chemicals, etc., that accounts for roughly 15 to 20%. So what I found fascinating is that actually 75 to 98% of our current mental, physical, emotional, behavioral illnesses come from our thoughts. So that means like basically our mindset basically dominates our food related health issues. So like things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, these are preventable health conditions. And I work with so many type 2s that, when they're eating as their body needs, their blood sugars are balanced, insulin isn't needed. And it's just amazing to witness how God designed our bodies and how he's designed the food that he gives us to nourish us and help us so that, we don't need these man-made things. But what happens is they end up falling off and reverting back to old ways because they are focused on taking actions and not actually getting to the root of the issue that led them to the poor habits in the first place. And, a lot of times it could be poor habits that you made. It could be poor habits that you were raised with. I didn't have good habits growing up. I wasn't raised with them. And then I taught that to some of my kids. Gabby's the only kid that will never know what it was like before this lifestyle. And it's just crazy the differences between her and the oldest. We have been given a sound mind, the mind of Christ that enables us to think well. So what you think has a big impact. Holy crap, she's having a shit fit in there. So what you think has a big impact on the foods that you choose and eat, because he's given us, a powerful ability to think, to feel, and choose, which we can also feel like a double-edged sword. We have this responsibility and this power for every aspect of our life. And one thing that I've noticed is in the faith community is health is always tossed to the side. It is like a taboo subject that makes so many uncomfortable. And I was one of those people too, by the way. It was just one of those things where we want to focus on the other aspects and just kind of brush that one under the sand. But here's the thing, if we don't have a healthy mind, nothing in our life is going to be healthy. So, when our emotions are running high, when your emotions are running high, what do? Do you stick to plan? Do you find yourself veering to feed those emotions? And hence why, he tells us to take each thought captive. So thinking is intertwined with our mental and physical health. Where the mind goes, the body is always going to follow. The book, You Are Not Your Brain, is one that I actually suggest to a lot of my clients. And the ones that read it are always like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. It is a really great example on how the thoughts that we choose actually end up leading us into a depression or health issues. And a lot of times depression is caused by holy shit. She's really mad at her sister. Her sister wants to play outside. Gabby just wants to be inside. And so they're having a little fight. They'll figure it out. So when we get emotional, our bodies can't digest food properly, which means we're not absorbing nutrients, which then leads to a whole host of issues. We always hear this saying, you are what you eat, but that's actually false. You are what you can absorb. So if you're constantly stressed out, angry, frustrated, anxious, any of those things, what it does is it actually slows down your digestion process. Enzymes aren't getting released like they should. They're not working as great as they should. And then you start having issues digesting your proteins and your fats and all these other things. And then what happens is you stop absorbing as great as you could be. And it starts leading to health issues. So, though we have free will, we can do whatever we want. We're not free from the consequences of our actions. So, I hear, well, I can't afford to purchase better food. But once you actually start digging into the corruption and the dysfunction of our current food system, it just makes it harder to turn a blind eye in the name of convenience. And when we bury our heads in the sand, that's not worshiping Christ in everything that we do. So it just shows a lack of respect and stewardship for our bodies. We can't survive or thrive without proper nourishment. So if you find yourself struggling, one thing that I have my clients do is write down your thoughts. I know it sounds crazy. You're just like, well, if I don't have that many negative thoughts. And what happens is you actually probably do have a lot of negative thoughts, especially if you were stuck in life. I guarantee you do. And what happens is you hit those thoughts pop up and you're just like, wipe it away, but you're not facing it. So recently, one of my ladies actually did this and she shared it with me, and she was just like blown away by the results, because it's absolutely mind blowing to see how many negative thoughts we can have in such a short period of time. It was like she had a page long before noon and she was just like blown away. And I've had a client who had like 3 pages before noon and stuff. It's incredible how quickly they will just sneak right in, and you're just like, wipe it away, and so you got to learn how to rewrite the script in your head. And a lot of those negative thoughts, it's not that you're a lot of times we try to will ourselves to think positive and do better and stuff, and that's not what you need to be doing, believe it or not. That's why you can't get anywhere, because you're trying to force, and when you try to force something, what happens is you rebel. That's our natural instinct, is to rebel against something that is forced upon us. So you have to, face it. Okay, well, why? Where did this lie come from? Where did it start? Like, those are your subconscious ruling. Your subconscious rules you about 95%. The thoughts that you're trying to force, that's only helping like 5% of your change. So that's why I always dig into the root of the issue with my clients. I was cleared the adrenal stuff medically after 8 months, but then I allowed the pandemic stuff to get to me, and I regressed. I allowed people's ignorant thoughts get to me and stuff, and it got me down. Our thoughts are so powerful that it controls every organ and every aspect of your body. And it wasn't until we were in Florida that I even realized how much the stress of what's happening has been just had a strong hold on me and stuff. But all right, guys, I just wanted to go live and share that with you, as I know that if I needed that reminder and my ladies needed that reminder, there's so many more that need it as well, to check your thoughts. Where are yours? But all right, guys, hope this helps.